Hello everyone, welcome back for another YouTube video. So today we are going to be taking a look at the Thermaltake Core P3 and finally case swapping our gaming PC over to this beautiful case. So if you've seen the previous video I made on this case, we unboxed it, set it up, put it together and went through a bunch of the specs it actually has. Some being the fact that you can vertically mount your GPU straight out of the box. You can also wall mount it and it looks stunning. The case we currently use is the 011 Dynamic from Lee, which I'm pretty sure you guys all know, which is definitely a great case. I would highly recommend it, but as previously stated, I want to wall mount my PC. So let's get straight into it. First, I need to take off all of the stuff I've got on top of my PC and basically just clean the area, make sure everything's switched off, and then start unplugging everything. Please excuse the rat's nest of cables behind here. There's not really too much of a decent way to clean this up, but it is mostly hidden. So once we got all the cables out, we're going to start taking apart the panels, taking off the glass, and unplugging the GPU is our first thing to do pretty much. Once the GPU is out, we've got to get the vertical mount out so that we can access the motherboard and the cables on the motherboard. So we're going to flip this around so we can access all the cables and stuff on the back. We're going to take out the power supply first because that's the easiest to do. Unplug all of the cables from the back of the power supply. Now that the power supply is out, we're going to tackle the rest of the cables that are at the back. I think we only need one RGB connector and one fan hub for this because we're only going to be using the 3 fans and the AIO cooler. Next up is the radiator. So we need to unscrew all 8 of these screws that are holding it up. Once that's out, we're just gonna rest that down for a minute so we can pull out the rest of the cables. So we're getting there. We're pretty much mostly done with taking apart this PC now. I honestly don't mind case swapping PCs. It's just a bit time consuming. So we're gonna take off the glass panel for the Core P3 case and just pretty much prep this ready for all the parts to just go straight into this. Take off the back panel, screw in the power supply, the easy stuff first. So we got the power supply into the Thermaltake case. Next up is the motherboard from the Lee. We're going to take that out, unscrew it all. Also, we're going to take out the RAM so we don't damage any of that whilst we're unscrewing and moving stuff around. Probably didn't need to, but we're going to do it anyway. Once that's swapped over, we're just going to screw it all down, make sure it's secure. And then we can make light work of the cables and plug in everything in. This is how it's looking at the minute. Not too bad. We're nearly there. Time to screw down the AIO cooler and then put the riser cable in, which actually comes with the case, which is pretty cool. Next up is the power supply cables. We need the one for the GPU, CPU, and we need one Molex actually as well for the RGB headers and the fan hubs and stuff like that. We have got extension cables from Reaper cables, so we're putting that in. Next up is the GPU. You're going to have to take off the number of slots that you need to fit your GPU. Usually it's about 2 anyway. Make sure it clicks and then get the cables plugged in for it. Next up, we've got the RAM, so we're going to plug these in and it's done. All that's left to do is actually turn it on, but before we do that, we're going to run through a couple of the specs we've got in this PC. So we're rocking a Ryzen 7 5800X, a 2070 Super from MSI, a 360 AIO from Deepcool, 32 gigs of RAM from Patriot Memory, 2 1TB M.2s, one from Sabrin, one from Kingston, B450 motherboard, and a 650 watt power supply. All the specs will also be in the comments. But let's get this PC turned on. So it's swapped, it's all done, and we've got it all pretty much in the case. No issues really at all. And honestly, I love how it looks now. I think the Thermaltake Core P3 is probably one of my favorite cases I've ever seen, and I can't wait to get this wall mounted. Again, all of the specs to this PC will be in the description below if you want to check that out with the links as well. Also, if you made it this far into the video, I appreciate you all. We're almost at 1100 subscribers, which is incredible. Speaking of which, if you are new here, consider hitting the subscribe button. It massively helps me out. If you did enjoy the video, consider leaving a like down below. Also, in the comments, let me know which case you prefer, whether it's the Lian Li or the Thermaltake P3. But that pretty much wraps up today's video. And until next time, thank you. Peace.